As a project moves from planning into execution, production of the project deliverables begins for the first time. This creates an opportunity for the project team to determine if what worked on paper is working in real life. In other words, how does the project performance compare to the plan? Is there variance? And if so, why? During scope planning, the requirements of the project's deliverable are decided upon and documented in the plan. Key performance indicators, or KPIs, can be used to establish the expectations and measure performance. The goals can be set as a range of acceptable outcomes or tolerances that performance must fall within. Goals may also be expressed as a minimum or maximum level of acceptability. Units of measure may include percentages, physical measurements of attributes, or any other standard that deliverables may be measured against. There are two basic ways of using performance indicators. We can use key performance indicators, or KPIs, to think back on what happened in the past. When we look backwards using a summative evaluation, we're able to evaluate the performance of the project, identify variance between that performance and the plan, and determine if objectives were met. Performance indicators can also be used to think ahead and adjust course if necessary. Key performance parameters, or KPPs, allow the project manager to look at real-time performance to determine if goals will be met before the next reporting period. The findings can be used to improve ongoing efforts and to ensure the current performance will maintain alignment with the strategic plan. Real-time project performance can be monitored through the use of dashboards or status reports. The project manager can work with the sponsor, project team, and key stakeholders to determine which metrics should be included. A dashboard can be created manually through Excel or through a more sophisticated project management software tool. In Agile teams, dashboards may be highly visual and use paper and tactile materials rather than software. No matter what methods are used, the most important thing is that the information be regularly updated to reflect real-time project performance. Now we are going to discuss the process of gathering raw project data, then interpreting and reporting it. Work performance data is raw, uninterpreted data that includes the attributes of a deliverable. For instance, in a call center, the work performance data may include the average speed of answer is 15 seconds. 2% of callers hang up before their call is answered. Customer service representatives are able to answer questions during the first call 85% of the time. Customer surveys indicate that they are highly satisfied 50% of the time and satisfied 30% of the time, partially satisfied 15% of the time, and dissatisfied 5% of the time. With this raw data, the project team cannot determine whether this is good performance or not. This work performance data is raw information that, by itself, doesn't actually tell us much. So, in the executing process group of a project, all we are really doing is measuring the attributes of the deliverables. We are not taking any steps yet to determine the meaning of this information. In order to monitor and control project work, the project team must compare the raw work performance data against the plan in order to arrive at meaningful work performance information. According to the raw work performance data, the average speed of answer is 15 seconds. According to the scope management plan, the requirement is 30 seconds. Therefore, we can interpret the data and determine that the average speed of answer is meeting requirements. According to the raw work performance data, 2% of callers hang up before their call is answered. Is that good or bad? We can't tell until we compare this performance against the plan, which is 3%. With that information, we can turn the raw data into meaningful work performance information and say that the abandoned call percentage is meeting requirements. So our callers are receiving the timely response that is required. How are we doing once we get the customers on the phone? We are resolving 85% of all issues on the first call. But the goal is to have first call resolution 90% of the time, so we are falling short there. This variance indicates that our project performance could use improvement with this particular requirement. And 80% of customers are either highly satisfied or satisfied when our target is 90%. This is another area of improvement where we find variance between project performance and the plan. When we monitor and control project performance regularly, we can take action to correct variance before our project gets too far off track. Once we gather work performance data and then interpret it as meaningful work performance information, we then create work performance reports to present the project performance to our sponsor and key stakeholders. Work performance reports are simply work performance information that is placed in a professional presentation format.